Thank you so much for making time for us. As Dr.
Yeah, sure.
Besigye's lawyer, what is your immediate response to the judge's decision to deny him bail?
Total outrageous, very, very unrealistic, and it amounted to a travesty of justice. Why? Our constitutional order guarantees protection to liberty. And the reasons he advanced were actually a negation of the constitutional order we have. If one has spent 180 days on remand, they are entitled to what we call mandatory bail here. Of course, in capital offenses here, it's difficult to get bail. But there is that window that was created that if the state delays to hear the case and you spend 180 days on remand, that is 6 months, automatically court has to release you. And Dr. Besigye has been on remand for close to 270 days as we speak today. He was abducted from Nairobi on 16th of November, transferred last year. He was abducted, kidnapped from Nairobi, 16th November last year. He was illegally transferred to Uganda without even going through immigration protocols. And then when he was brought here, he was subjected to martial law because we have martial law here. He was taken to a general court martial, which remanded him to Luzira maximum remand prison, where he has been incarcerated since then. So now it becomes a matter of, travesty of justice when the judge says, for them, they consider the period when he appeared before the civilian court, not before the general court martial, which is an absurdity.
Why do you believe the court's interpretation is wrong then on this period?
Well, it is illogical because even the earlier court that remanded him, the general court martial, he's one of the courts of law which are recognized in Uganda. Never mind that we have issues with the same because it's a kangaroo court where there is no dispensation of justice in accordance with the known tenets, the universal standards. But it's a court which is known under the law. And Dr. Besigye has been remanded in a government prison. So it is the government of Uganda that kidnapped him from Nairobi. It is the very government of Uganda that took him to the general court martial and subsequently remanded him to Luzira maximum prison. So it is the same general government of Uganda that transferred his case to the civilian court following a decision of the Supreme Court that declared the trial of civilians in the general court martial a nullity. So when you look at the chronology of events, you can clearly tell that Dr. Besigye has been in the hands of the state and he has spent more than 270 days on remand. So the judge's decision is illogical. It defeats all manner of reasoning.
And talking about those many months that he's been on trial and also how he was illegally moved to another country, does that, in your view, then amount to a violation of his constitutional rights?
Not only the constitutional right, even universally accepted standards of justice and management of matters of that nature. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights and other international instruments, they were all violated. And Uganda is signatory to all of them. It's the reason we have taken this matter to the East African Court of Justice, and it's one of the reasons, again, our legal team across the border in Kenya decided to file a case against the government of Kenya. Because rendition, without going through the due process, that is required under the Extradition Act of Kenya and Extradition Act of Uganda, amounts to a violation of not only the rights of Dr. Kizza Besigye, but also territorial integrity of Kenya. Because Uganda invaded Kenya to conduct that kind of kidnap. They attacked the territorial integrity of Kenya. And it's one of the matters that we have taken to the East African Court of Justice and also the Kenyan courts locally there.
All right, so that is the next move, legally or politically, that avenue that you are going to be pursuing following this ruling.
Yes, domestically and internationally, we are exploring a number of options available within the purview of the law. But basically, we are pursuing it at that level because now it would appear Dr. Besigye will not get bail here. This is not the first time we are making an appeal. There was one which was given earlier. There was a decision which was given about 2 months ago, by the same court. We put in an application, and the reason they advanced again were really suspicious because they said, as much as you have satisfied all the requirements for grant of bail under the law, we are worried that once you released, you are a flight risk. You may even interfere with the investigations. So we are not releasing you. Yet that's not one of the grounds they would advance under those circumstances. In any case, they had indicated that they had concluded the investigations. So they had conducted the investigations to their, satisfaction. And now, how do you make a U-turn and say now, if you are released, you are likely to interfere with the investigations?
We'll leave it there for now, Dr. Lukwago. Thank you so much for your time again on this Monday.
It's a pleasure. Thank you, my dear sister.
Great. That was Dr. Erias Lukwago, lawyer.